Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your man Edward L. Moore with another edition of Motivational Mondays. Man, I'm extremely pleased to say this week marks our 10th edition of Motivational Mondays. Man, it's been all about consistency, keeping this thing going, and I hope a lot of people has been blessed. As I said before, the movement is expanding rapidly. I mean, I'm so pleased and so blessed to be a part of this movement, seeing the way that it's growing. And I just want to salute every member of Team No Excuses. It's because of you that not only are we growing, but a lot of people are being blessed by your posts, things that you have to say, words of encouragement, and different things of that nature. So I just want to salute you, man, and encourage you to keep going. It's something about when 400 people come together in one place with one mind, one vision to encourage, uplift, and build each other up. It's because of you that people are truly being blessed. If you could hear some of the testimonies that I get in my inbox and or when people call me or reach out to me telling me how this movement is blessing them, man, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so pleased to be a part of it, more than anything, because what it's doing for me is it's holding me accountable to the things I say I want to do, to who I say I want to be, and who I say I am. Not who I want to be, but who I am. It's just really digging down deep and pulling out, who that person is. So, let's keep it going, man. The movement is expanding. It's getting bigger. This is our 10th episode. So we're going to keep it going. Like I told you, we got some big things going. The t-shirts are coming soon. They've already been designed. Probably going to post what they look like later today. And then this Friday, I'll be taking pre-orders. I'm just asking for a $10 deposit. That way I can ensure your size and the color that you want. So this Friday I will be doing a pre-order to make sure that we get the right sizes and the right colors for people. I don't want to just buy a whole bunch of miscellaneous shirts. I want to get specifically what people want. So if you want them, I know they're going to go like hotcakes. You really would want to pre-order yours Friday. All right, but this week I want to talk to somebody that might be going through a storm, man. They say usually it's three things that's true. Either you in a storm, either you just came out of a storm, or you finna go into another storm. And I just want to talk to people that's going through a storm right now, man. I feel like, I don't know if I can make it. I've been praying. I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing no breakthrough. God, what's going on? Where you at? What's going on? You said you love me. You said you'll never leave or forsake me, but I don't feel you. I don't feel you. I don't feel your presence. I feel like you just left me out here. Lord, where are you? I don't know if I can get through this one by myself. This is too big for me. I need you, God. Where are you? I want to talk to you if you feel like that right now. I'm here to tell you that God can take something that was meant to destroy you and turn it around for your good. I'm a living example. If you will allow me to, I want to share a testimony with you. Back a few years back, it's been some time now, I went through a situation where I was, dealing with a young lady, and, we had a relationship, and then we came to the end of our relationship, and, I ended up getting into a verbal altercation with her, and long story short, there was some false allegations made about me, police report made, and a whole lot of things happened. I ended up going to talk to my probation officer to try to clarify, and myself and the young lady tried to clarify what really happened. And what ended up happening is, as I went into his office, him and three other big officers handcuffed me. And when they handcuffed me, I'm like, what's going on, man? We came down here to tell you what the true story is, what really happened. He didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. So the next thing I know, I found myself in a county jail. Like, oh no, man, what's going on? The allegations made against me, it was no attempts to find out if they were true, if they were substantiated in any kind of truth. None of that. All he took was the person's word and locked me up. Being that I was on probation, it wasn't really much to talk about. It wasn't really much I could fight. So I found myself in county jail. And as I was in the county jail, the prosecutor constantly, we want to send him to prison. we're going to send him to prison. We're not giving out no deals unless he want to take this 3 years in the penitentiary. That's the only deal we really have for him right now. So I was like, oh, no. And to make it worse, out of everything I have done in my life, this particular time, I'm really innocent. I haven't done anything. Or at least I haven't done what I'm being accused of. And it was a situation where, man, I was fighting and I was fighting and I was fighting. And this is at the first time when I really started developing a relationship with God, because I was like, you know, I started developing a prayer life. You can imagine when you're looking at going to prison, you'll start developing a prayer life instantly. I didn't really know much about God at that time, but I started praying and praying and praying. And I started off reading the Bible. I started off reading the book of Psalms. And what ended up happening is the proceedings went on for months. And I remember being in the bullpen on the last day before the determination was made whether I was going to go to prison or not. And I remember being in the bullpen. And I remember my exact prayer. My prayer was, Lord, they can take my arms, they can take my legs, they can take whatever, but they can't take my faith in you. And I was praying for God to intervene. And he ended up intervening, but just not in the way that I expected. So my attorney struck a deal with the prosecutor. Well, you know what? Instead of sending him to prison, how about you send him to county jail for a year, and we're going to make him go to this program in county jail. So when they brought the deal back, I was like, to avoid prison, if I got to take this year, hey, man, I'm just going to take this year, and I'm going to roll with it. And it is what it is. So they sent me to a program called Resolve to Stop the Violence Project. And what ended up happening was I got in the program, and once I got in the program, I was like, man, what I need to be here for? They make you program for like 7 in the morning to 9 at night every day, class after class after class. But a remarkable thing happened is that when I was in a program, I ended up hearing some information that pertained to my life, and I saw myself in some of the information. And I saw some of the ways where, you know, I may have had tendencies that wasn't good, and I decided at that time I wanted to change. And I was in a program with a lot of my peers, and they was like, E, why you acting like you really receptive to all this information? You ain't finna use it when you go home. My response was, hey, man, I'm going to do me, you do you. So while in the program, they said only 1 out of 3 of y'all is going to make it. I looked to the dude to the left. Sorry for you, man. To the dude to the right. I'm sorry for you. And I decided that I was going to make it at that time. I was going to be one of the ones that made it. And what ended up happening was that I did so well that upon my release, they offered me an internship. And I interned for 6 months. And then after that 6 months was up, they offered me a full-time position as a facilitator and a case manager in the same jail that I was just in. You know, I used to go look at my old bunk like, man, I was just here a year ago. Now I got keys and a clearance to a facility that I was just a client in. So I said all that to say, not to make it about me or not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I had to go through that situation to come out on the other end blessed. Blessed not only with more information and my lifestyle change, but blessed with an opportunity in a career that has sustained me for the last decade. I'm still working in the same area and field working with now is transitioned into working with young people to help them get on the right track. But had I not gone through that 8 months that I had to spend to get out on the other side and be blessed the way that I was, you know, you can't tell me that God can't take a situation that was meant to hurt you, that was meant to harm you, and turn it around for your good. So this week, if you're going through a storm, I want you to be encouraged, man. You don't know what's going to come out on the other side of this. You don't know what kind of blessing is on the other side of this if you just keep pressing. You know, God says all things work together for the good of those that love him and are called according to his purpose. I always tell you almost every week, Jeremiah 29:11 states that I know the plans that I have for you. They are good and not of evil, and plans to bring you to an expected end. The enemy may have one plan for your life, but God will use whatever he tried to do to hurt or harm you to turn it around for your good. So this week, I just want you to be encouraged. You know, I want you to be focused. I want you to be prayerful, and I want you to have an expectant spirit. Lord, you said you will never leave or forsake me. You said you have good plans for me. Lord, you said all things work together for the good of those that are called according to your purpose and love you. Lord, you are not a man that you should lie, and your word will not return unto you void, so you are obligated by your word. I expect you to meet my need. I expect you to keep your word. I expect you to honor your word, Lord. Be encouraged. Things that have been meant to hurt you can really, really, really turn out to benefit you, which is the only reason why I decided to share my story today. So again, Team No Excuses, we expanding, we getting bigger. You know, I'm so blessed by this movement, man. I'm glad to see the things that are going on. So let's keep it going, man. You out there that's going through a storm or a struggle, just be encouraged. It's not over. You can make it. We can do anything with the Lord on our side. So just wanted to speak something positive into your life this week. As always, I'm truly blessed and humbled to be able to speak into your life. I thank you. I thank everybody for your support. I'm truly ecstatic about what's going on with the movement. I love you all. It's Team No Excuses. Let's get it.